So I wanted to cover a little bit about cleaning. If you haven't polished 80 grit, there's nothing you really need to worry about in terms of cleaning. You can see thumbprints and water prints, and I don't know if you can see that one right there on the edge. I'm going to rock it around. Hopefully that little splash of whatever it is can be seen. There's a little ring there. On this one, and this may not show up, but there's some brown in here and some brown staining there. That's from me touching it. This will all, as soon as you sand it, this will all go away. So what I would say is if you get one of these and you're going to keep it on your desk as a really cool piece of history, which is a really cool piece of history, I wouldn't sweat the fingerprints. You can wipe it down and clean it. If you use anything harsh like ammonia, vinegar, acetone, those will all tarnish it pretty quickly. All you really need to do is soap and water. And if you do it every time you handle it, if you wipe it down every time you handle it, these shouldn't tarnish much at all, any more than speculum normally would. For the polished mirrors hate to be touched, just like any telescope mirror. So this isn't a true optical flat, but it is ground very precisely. So as you touch it, just your thumb or finger moving across it is going to pick up enough grit to probably scratch it, which is true of any telescope mirror. The real danger that you're going to have here that you aren't going to have on others is that the oil on your fingers is going to start corroding that metal really quickly. So the one I have on my desk, which is this one, I let people pick it up, handle it because it's cool, and which means every so often I take it down, polish it with some ceram oxide, buff it back out flat, and set it back on my desk. And it's not a big deal to me because I've been making mirrors like crazy, so this is just sort of second nature. I usually go probably a year before I do that. If you were more diligent about wiping off the fingerprint as soon as it was put on, and don't use anything abrasive, use like lens paper and soap and water. You can soap and water it really easy. Once you get soap and water, you wash your hands, and then you can handle it in the soap and water. Watch the temperature. The temperature of the glass needs to be the temperature of the water. You can cause this to shatter by putting hot water in it or putting cold water on it. So you want to let it acclimate slowly. Once your hands are clean, once this is soap and water, you can wash it and touch it with your fingers and clean it off. Then just pour evaporated water, if you have it, or distilled water across it and let it run down and let it just sit there and drip dry, and it will be spotless again. But it takes more management than sort of anything else you might have in your collection if people are picking up and handling it all the time. But to me, it's worth it to let them pick it up and touch it, because it really is just an enormously cool piece of history. So washing isn't a big deal. If you touch it and leave it, that fingerprint will be oxidized into the metal. There's no washing that off if you let that set for a day. I mean, it's a pretty fast process. So if someone's handling it, it's always a good idea to kind of wipe it down with a soft rag, wipe those fingerprints off, and then clean it now and then. The real danger is just any grit on your fingers and any grit on the glass, so make sure it's dust free. Well, I think that's all there is to cleaning it.